Hi there, welcome to Let Your Art Out. We're going to be doing our second to the last Christmas in July. It's Penguin prompt, an index card. So, starting out, I decided I was going to use my scribble sticks this time. And I love the scribble sticks. I don't know why I don't use them more often. They're so convenient, and if you dip them in water, they basically dissolve, and the stick becomes your paintbrush essentially. Uh, they're fabulous, and they're not permanent, but they are semi-permanent because they are acrylic, but they are water soluble. So they will come back to life, but not too much, not nearly as much as gelatos. So I'm just blending that all in, and then I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and spray that on there, and it somehow separates the paint and the water, or I'm not sure the science of it. I think I said that the last time. And what I really liked about doing this on this card is it's kind of creating a starry sky without the stars. So it's a nice texture. So taking the Liquitex titanium white and creating my base of snow. Didn't have enough paint, so putting some on my brush. And now I'm creating some hills. And you can see here that the blue, the scribble stick, it did activate just a little bit, but I really like how it turned out because it looks like the background, like it's shadowed. So it looks like there's, ice hills in the distance kind of thing. So I'm drawing this out here and realize I you couldn't see it, A, and B, I drew it in the wrong position. So I said, oh heck, I'll just go in with some gesso and I'll just wing it. So that's what I'm doing here is um, taking some gesso and putting down a base coat over the scribble sticks. And you'll see here again that the scribble sticks are activating just a little, not as much as a watercolor or a gelato would. So they're actually really fun to use. So creating these little penguins. These little penguins are going to have big eyes, and I'm going to show you here a picture of the inspiration photo that I saw on Pinterest. Just going over a second time just to coat over that where that blue mixed in to make sure it doesn't come through again. And it looks like I'm doing it right after, but there's been some time that's passed. This is really sped up. So the first layer dried a little bit. Now I'm just taking the gesso that was left over and putting it on another Diet Coke box that I cut down. And that's basically what this is that I'm working on is a Diet Coke box that I cut down into ATC's 5x7 journal cards and 4x6 index cards. So I thought I'm doing this all with scribble sticks, so let's try the white scribble stick. And it did cover the gesso a little bit, but not nearly as much as an acrylic paint would. But I figured I would just go ahead and finish the job, make sure that they were all the same. So I kept going. So then I go in with the fuchsia scribble stick and forgot that I used water with the white scribble stick so it bled a little bit. So now I'm going to dry it. Lesson learned. But as you saw, it wiped off pretty well. So this is crazy. So this is the black scribble stick. And this is, I was really surprised on the coverage of this. I mean, it looks like black acrylic paint. It was amazing to me. Um, I've used the black before, but it was not over white like this. This is the first time I'm using it over white. And again, I was really, really impressed with the coverage that I got on it. It's a pretty solid black. So I'm just creating these little round bodies. I put two little baby ones there, figuring this might be a little family going somewhere for Christmas or something like that. So with the scribble sticks, I'm just using a water brush that's filled with water. I'm going in and just creating little toes, little round circles, bigger circles for the mom and dad, for their feet, figuring that they're sneaking out from underneath the body. And with this, like I said, with the scribble sticks, you just use a water brush. And sometimes I'll dip it in the water just to get a little bit of extra wetness versus squeezing the brush because I don't want to have to go and refill it. So the Liquitex titanium white again and going in on the bellies. And I'm also going to do this on the eyes and on the hats where the little fur is. I kind of like the texture I get with the Liquitex Basic because it's a much heavier white acrylic, so it gives you some ridges. It gives you actual physical texture, which I really like when you go in with a whole bunch. Going over the eyes where I put the scribble stick white. You can see that there's a considerable difference. It just doesn't have the same coverage that the other colors do, the white. Excuse me. So I went over and reshaped their bellies a little bit, so I'm just going over that a second time, um, where the white was, or the black was still showing through on the white or the blue, whatever the case may be. Just going over that in the second coat. These little guys are cute. Gonna dry that really quick. Okay, here comes the hats. And this is where I really love the scribble sticks. So I'm gonna use four different colors. And typically, if you're using a paint, in a bottle, you've got to squirt it out or I don't know, but sometimes I use the lids, but in some of the paints, you can't use the lids. So I really like that you can just basically wet your brush and rub it on the scribble stick and liquefy that paint, activate that paint and onto your brush and just put it down and you have no waste. I really like that. So last one is going to be red. They're vibrant too, these colors. I real I act like I've never used them before. I have used them, just not like this. I really, really, really like them. This is sand, and I'm just going in because their eyes are so big. I'm just shading them in underneath to give them that bulging kind of look. If they had normal eyes, I probably wouldn't do this, but I wanted to emphasize that they're big eyes. Same with their bellies. Give them that little shading on there to kind of make them look like they're coming out. Just blending that in with water. That's all that is. It's just water. So they're not such hard edges. I'm going to do the same here with the elephant gray on the hats. Just going underneath there with putting a little shading, a little texture. Makes a huge difference in my opinion. It just makes them look fluffy. And again, taking some water and just blending that in. Easy peasy. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, sorry. I'm getting gesso. I forgot their beaks. So I'm just taking some gesso and I'm putting that over the black because I didn't think that the scribble sticks would be as bright if they were over the black. So you can see that the black did activate just a little bit, not too terrible. So now I'm just going to go in with yellow to kind of brighten that up again. You can still see the black coming through. That's why I wanted to put the yellow on first. And then I'm going in with cheddar, which is a yellowish orange. It's a real pretty color. And without I, I will say that with the scribble sticks, I am more apt to use a lot more colors, I think, with the convenience of a stick like that, versus if I had to open up a bottle, squirt it out, open up a bottle, squirt it out, or open up a bottle and tip the lid, or, I think this is just so convenient. So went in with the tangerine to kind of give that shading and blended it again with the cheddar and then just took a little bit of the lemon to give a little bit of a highlight, which you can't really see. Now I'm giving them eyeballs. Ah, all of a sudden they look like penguins. And in the inspiration picture, they didn't have arms or flippers or whatever you want to call those, and I just didn't like them being straight down. I just didn't like it. They didn't look natural to me, so I'm adding just little flippers on the sides here. And then taking the tangerine and just on the very bottom of their toes, darkening them up so you can get a little dimension on those as well. Look at them, aren't they cute? All right, so in the inspiration, which this is probably my favorite part of the inspiration photo, is the shadowing that they did on the snow. It made it look like ice. So I'm attempting to do that here. So I took the lapis, which is a really dark blue. I would have never done this if I didn't see this inspiration photo, and I really, really like how it turned out. And taking the blackberry and just adding a little bit more color to that, and then rinsing out my brush and just blending in the edges a little bit there. Isn't that pretty? I would have never done something like that, and it looks like ice, which is amazing to me. The Dina Wakley gloss spray with the fan brush, which is my favorite way to put splatters on there for snow. And the transition that snow, the difference it makes in giving depth to the picture, to the background, I was really surprised. I'm surprised a lot in this video, aren't I? Now I take a black Posca pen, and I didn't really want that thick of a border this time. So I went in with the Stabilo All pencil, and now I'm taking my angle brush and getting some water. And what I want to do is kind of fan this out so it gives it a shadow. And you'll see here, I just wasn't using enough water to get the shadow that I want. And eventually here, I'll figure it out. I'll get some extra water on here, right here, and say, ah, that's how you do it. Okay. And I just put a whole bunch of water on there, and then that made it fan out a little bit more. So I needed to get the eyes to stand out a little bit more. So I tried using a pen, but the white wasn't dry yet. So good old Stabilo all pencil that writes on pretty much anything, even if it's wet. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going around and kind of creating a black line around those eyes, giving them a little bit of shadow for dimension. And I tried putting white dots on there, but it didn't really show up with my Uniball Signo. And now I'm going in with the Zebra Sensations pen. It's a real fine pen. I really like it actually. I got it as a prize to try. And I really do like it. So just put in the sentiment in there, happy, happy, because a happy, happy feet, happy, happy holidays. And now I'm going to go ahead and put that into my index card journal binding that I have. And I have pre-cut, pre um, scored tags, and I'm just writing in there that's a number 19, and the prompts are Christmas and penguins, and the date that I completed this. And yeah, I'm just going to pull the double-sided tape off, add a little bit of glue because I found that that definitely makes it last a lot longer. Um, with as much as I handle this thing, I look through it all the time for inspiration, etc. Um, I found that you definitely need to put the glue on there. The double-sided tape doesn't work as well, and that's most. It should. I mean, it would if it was a flat, surface. But this is a real thick book, and I've got a lot of. Some of these things have some texture to them, so it's hard for the tape to hold it. So just clipping that, and that's it. That's all there is. So I hope you like this, and hope you give this a try. It's a fun project. And if you did like it, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.